2, 3, fire!
Knights, Vikings, Samurai, Woolen, Outlanders, 4.
Welcome back, everybody. So we're so happy you're still with us to talk more about the gameplay and the animation of Varangian Guard. And who better to discuss all of that with us than these three amazing people on the couch with me today. We have, again, you know her, the queen of all animation, Vanessa is back with us. Our Lord and Savior, JC. Awesome talking about gameplay. And the designer of the Varangian Guard, Alex, is on the couch with us too. Hello and welcome to you all. How you doing today?
Hello
Excited?
and welcome.
Such a
Super
great
excited.
day. Yeah.
I can't believe Steph announced all of these things.
I know.
Right?
Really, Steph, save some for the rest of us. No, no, it's awesome. Yeah, what an exciting day. And, like, love it. It's amazing. But let's dive into it because I'm sure people really want to start to see, you know, what the Varangian Guard can do, what it's all about. So let's start with JC. Like, if you could describe this hero in 3 words, like, what would you say?
3 words. That's not enough words, but
You're already over 3. I'm
so
sorry. No.
when we're building this hero, right, where there's 3 very, very specific aspects that we're looking for. The first one is we want to create a more support hero. It's something we haven't really had in For Honor, to have a hero that's really built around supporting your allies in a more defensive manner, because our second keyword is defensive, right? So we want to have a support defensive hero that really you feel like you want to get close to your allies and help them in battle, not necessarily with ganking, but more with helping them succeed. And we'll see how that pans out with a moveset that's a little bit different, but it's pretty interesting. And finally, we were really focusing a lot as well on the tactical aspect of this hero, as well as like where to position yourself, how to position yourself, when do you use specific moves, having a lot of skill-based play there, with how to time your attacks, how to time your abilities, to make sure everything's great, and really have a good tactical control of battle. So I'm super excited, really, really awesome. We have like something pretty cool to show off.
Nice,
I'm excited.
Nice. Exciting.
Yeah.
Yep,
I'm excited
can't wait to look into that too. But you know, we also want to know. We also know that, you know, apart from the game design too, so much of the work too is a big animation component. So it looks good. So Vanessa, can you tell us what it was like to work on like this new Varangian Guard as well?
I mean, going back to Viking, finally.
Yes.
That was so great to dive back into their. You know, it's the first Viking with the armor that she has.
That's right.
So it's like the challenge that we had in
It's
the
the first
animation
Viking
to
in a
represent
while.
The wildness of the Viking, the rawness, but she's not just that.
Mhm.
Like her background and the fact that she went away and the training that she got. And she's also the daughter of a warlord, so, you know, maybe you show her 1 or 2 trick, you know. So all of that was really, really important for me and for the animation team to create something that will be represented. So all the rawness of the Viking, but also the discipline and the defensive too. So because she has a big shield and she wants to use it. So.
Right. And speaking of which, because I know Raph demonstrated
Raph
a bit,
showed before me.
but I wanted to pull him on this side because I really wanted to play
Yes.
with him too. But yeah, like this, these are the props.
Yes, those
right?
were the actual props from the mocap.
Yeah.
They're pretty heavy, right?
They're
Yes.
sizable.
They're
yeah.
pretty heavy. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
heavy. So they are to scale as well from in game. So it's really funny. But because it's really heavy and because the mocap actor needs to swing left and right for
Right.
8 hours, do the nav and all of that. Sometimes we use the berserker axe
Oh, just
right there, which is also the shaman axe too.
Hey.
Because you look at a scale comparison, right?
Yeah. I feel a little.
It's
Yes.
real different.
I know, I was like-
nobody can say these are the same
Like-
weapon, right?
I'm like, I feel a little small compared to this.
And,
thing,
and
right?
sometimes it's, I mean, it's of course important to have the right weight for the actor to be able to
Yeah.
represent the animation.
Yeah.
All they
And
need
she's
is
very heavy, like the
the
player
Raiders
will notice when
axe,
they
and the Raiders
play
axe is a
them,
lot
play
more
her,
bigger
like
than
she's-
those.
You can feel the heaviness, and for me, it was really important to represent that.
It's
But I
like the
need to take
Raiders,
a break
like
once in a while and
large.
not break their arms, so this one must
The
be this one
Viridian
too, so-
Guards
Most
is
factors are
medium,
Really, really, really.
Yeah,
and the
this
Shaman
is this,
Berserkers
you
is
know,
small.
it's,
Humans, right?
Exactly, and I mean the
Different
length
types
of
of,
the
axis
pole as well.
sizes.
Like sometimes you do a swing, but we need to take into consideration that it's not clipping and all of that. So, yeah, a lot of thing to think about. But it's pretty neat to have them real size like this.
I love our props department.
Yeah, I
like, they're
know.
so so cool.
The thing is, I find it's interesting you're talking about how, you know, she's heavy, the weapons are heavy, because It's our first heavy hero in quite a while. I know a lot of players
Yes.
were
Oh, it's a heavy.
excited to go like, oh, we're doing hybrid.
Oh, there we go, dude.
We're super happy to be able to have a
Yeah.
new.
I was talking about
hero.
this on my last video
what you just
about what
mentioned
we know so far about the brand new
defensiveness
hero.
of
We
this
didn't
character,
actually
it's
know
all taken
what
into
the brand new
consideration
hero,
to create those
what the
animations,
brand new
so all the
hero,
heaviness,
its
the
class is
risky
going to be.
behavior stuff
Either
of
if it was
this
going to be
armor,
like a heavy,
yeah, that's
or a
what they found,
vanguard,
so-
or is it
And
going to be
she's also
another
has-
hybrid again? Nope,
the shield
it's
is
another heavy.
permanent because she's
Huh.
defensive, yes. But in the gameplay,
Kinda wish it was a Vanguard,
she's gonna
though.
use it a lot.
Because now we have what, like 3
Might
heavies
call
now.
the block or
Let's see,
something,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
kinda
let
wish it was
you
kinda like a
use
heavy.
it,
Yeah.
Alex,
I mean,
show
a
it,
Vanguard,
but,
You know,
Because one of the
what
things
you
that's
do.
also super important to us when we're building.
So now we
a
now
new
know
hero, even
the
though
brand
like,
new
we
heroes are
have
heavy now.
Vikings with axes, right? We have Vikings with swords, we have Vikings with shields, we have Vikings with like all sorts of
Yes.
weapons. But then if you're looking at this and you think, oh yeah, it's kind of like Warlordish, it's really, really not.
It's
right?
very challenging to create a new silhouette
Yeah.
with the sometime a weapon that we already have. So
Actually, a lot of
their shield
people
is pretty unique. Like
Yeah,
the
the
kite,
shield-
were
Kite-
speculating that the brand new hero was going to have a
Yeah,
scythe
it's
for a
shorter
weapon.
than other hero, but longer. So it's a pretty good.
That'd
but
be
their
cool.
silhouette is pretty unique. When
Yeah.
you
I mean, we
wear
do
it,
have
it's
kind of like a
completely
scythe
different. Still Viking,
execution.
but different. So.
Also
Yeah,
with the
Sorry, we
pointy
do have
Yes.
kind of like
I
a scythe
love how,
execution
like,
in the
when
game.
we're doing the mocap and
So,
stuff, we're talking about how
I won't be surprised
the
if they
aspect
come
that
out with a
Steph
brand new
mentioned
hero
earlier, right?
with a
She's still a
scythe.
Viking. She's still violent.
be
There's
surprised.
still a lot of strength behind her attacks, like with the axe that embeds, that sort of stuff. So it's super cool. But at the same time, there's still a more controlled element to how she is. She's not as wild as the other Vikings. That kind of proof of her training and how that sort of thing works. So it's I'm super excited. I'm really happy that we're able to kind of build this type of Viking that feels Viking,
Yes.
but is different from
Yes.
other Vikings. So it's really,
And all
really cool.
those elements were taken into consideration to.
Yeah, you really do feel the like
Nice.
Yeah,
initiate combat and control, and then you get into the chain and
think
it
I-
goes wild.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe that's a good chance. Alex, like are we show some
It's
hands-on
time.
time now? Are you gonna? What can you
yeah,
tell
sure.
us about
It's fine.
the Varangian
It's,
Guard?
Let's jump into the game to look at the character.
Gameplay!
You can see pretty unique silhouette. Also, massive shout out to the animation team just for the twitching stance.
Yeah, it looks
Oh my
amazing,
God,
right?
you
That, we take a
feel
lot
the
of
weight
time
so
for
much.
the change stance. Yes.
Like I could do that for an hour. Alright, so here we have a heavy hero. So those heroes tend to be a bit less extravagant in terms of the amount of moves. So we have a 2-hit chain, right? So light, heavy, 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 light,
Like heavy, yeah.
etc. So first, let's go with the lights. We really wanted to do a superior block focus hero. So all of our lights have super you can see the ones in chains as well. You'll see later whenever she has other lights, it will also have a superior block. That's just a theme that's going to be recurrent.
The lights are also enhanced. The lights are great for offense as for a 2-hit hero. It's pretty
Exactly. In our case, you want to get to your finishers, so make a lot of sense. And also, like, that weapon is quite heavy. It kind of really fits with the character as a whole. And then for the heavies, the heavy finishers are invincible. So you can see like this wild swings. And if you notice, the axe gets embedded into the opponent in what we call the Aesir state. So what does that mean? When you embed the axe in the opponent, you can do a headbutt to just reset your chain.
Oh shit, you can do a head, the Warlord's
You can
headbutt.
dodge that headbutt. In which case you can guard break them. If they do dodge attack, they will beat your guard break. So in this case, you can also just bait them to do it, parry or dodge or whatever.
So I want to note that headbutt, for all you frame checkers out there, is 400 milliseconds. It is fully unreactable. We've done tests with people that have borderline superhuman reactions, and they were not able to react to them at all. So that's great.
Nice.
A very, very potent mix-up.
Exactly. Of course, for the chains, you can also do the zone attack. Get to the finisher.
Yeah, so zone into light as well. So like all like zone acts as a opener basically.
Yeah. Then I guess we should jump into the specials.
Yeah.
First, let's look at that sprint attack because it's a top attack.
That's
So
pretty
it's kind
unique.
of quite unique. The dive in. You really feel the weight of the weapon as
Yeah.
she crashes down. And yeah, Of course, you can go to the chain.
Exactly, right? Like we usually tend to do, so it's great. You have dodge attacks as well?
Yeah. So, side dodge light, front dodge light. As you can see, because they're light attacks, they have this spear block property. So, like if you attack me in top heavy, for example, I can just... Yay!
There you go, wow, that's pretty good.
And then for the openers, of course you have your enhanced light that helps, but with that shield, people are pretty used to just having a bash opener. Same as other heroes in terms of timing, so this helps you to get into that chain, get a extra way to open.
And then that opener goes to that bash. That shield bash goes to your openers, right? So it doesn't go to your second hit in your chain. So it does open up for chains where you get a chance to get a little bit deeper.
Exactly. You can just reset your chain. Various ways. Important to note, because we didn't mention it during the chain, she doesn't have a bash and chain. Her heavy finishers are already unblockable, so you're kind of gonna do your mix-ups with those instead.
And so that was a conscious choice that we made as well, because her defense is quite potent, right? Having chain lights that, actually finisher lights that have superior block, they have like a long delay windows, all that stuff we can do with that. So we wanted to really focus on her defense there. And there's another little move that we want to talk about right now, right?
Yes. So, with shields come great responsibility in a down stance. But this one is quite different. So, first, it's kind of like a Ramusha, where it's just a temporary base one.
Oh!
You can cancel your attack recoveries into it as well.
She's
but
got
of course,
Onimusha's thing.
And I can get hit in the recovery. So, it's just you're gonna get those moments where you can bait the dodge attack, for example, going to your down stance. But you got to be careful because you got to time it. And then if we look at the follow-ups, so let's see. You have the heavy, which is unblockable. There's something special here we can do in any stance. As I think that's the first time we do that with.
Yeah, it's the first time that we end up having like those type of follow-ups be. You can pick your stance. It's very, very much the core of For Honor to be able to attack in a specific stance, choose where you're going. And this also adds like another layer of depth to this hero a little bit, where it's like, well, I can pick my stance, I can go in a situational manner where I have somebody on my left, somebody on my right, what am I going to do with it? And so like the other follow-ups are also interesting as well, right? So
so you get your top heavy for max damage, the side one if you want to hit someone on your side. You have the light attack. Of course, they have superior block as well, and can chain. You have the zone attack, so that's if you have like multiple people around you, for example. And just get away from the option. And then you got the bash. That bash can wall splat as well. So of course you can use it to ledge someone, but it can be used as well just to top heavy for a little bit more damage. Now some of you may have noticed whenever I do block GC, the animation on the other side is quite different than usual. That's a place where we decided, let's try something new, where whenever you block someone with this, you will bind them. Right? Yeah. So that causes some difference. One, it gives you more time to decide what you want to be doing after, because you have so many options.
Yeah, you can delay the follow-up like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, right? Because it gives you like a lot of control over when you're going to do stuff. It gives you a little bit more time to think, a little bit more time to look around what's going on around you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
It also means that if you block a trajectory, like let's say someone's attacking GC, but I'm in the way of the trajectory and I downstand, I'm just going to interrupt them. The attack will never reach GC.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, you have other heroes that can kind of like, babysit gang, what we call it. Like you stay on the sidelines, you hold your full block, and you just wait there. And then you kind of like hope to catch trajectories, and sometimes you do. They don't necessarily bounce. You get your follow-up, but it doesn't feel as good. So in this case, this is a big part of the support hero, right? So we want to be able to give her a way to very, very effectively counter those big, massive trajectories that we have in group fights. There's a mid-giant in the opposing team. No big deal. I'm going to get there. I'm going to tap down, block their big, big trajectories, be able to counter them, save my allies, save a lot of people. So that's really great. But that is also a big part of why it's timed, right? So we wanted to have like that skill-based aspect here, a little bit like we have with BP, where like you have to time things a little bit better. You can't just go and hold down. It doesn't last forever. So it really rewards skillful play, timing, understanding, knowing how fast attacks are, slow they are, how you're able to like manipulate the situation around you to really be able to vastly punish your opponents really, really well. That's
Exactly.
super cool. And then, like as we'll see, the entire feat set, like most of the feat set revolves around being able to like block and support your allies there as well. That's a big, big, big part of this hero.
Exactly. There's another thing that we did. So you know when you parry someone at 1 HP, and then their friend attack you, and then you parry their friend, and then you're like, oh, I can't kill you now. You recovered. Well, let's fix that with this nonsense. So because we're pushing a bind on the opponent, the more people that you block, everyone will be binded by the knock of the shield. So then it kind of allows you to choose your target. That's something that other heroes don't have. Normally, if I block someone externally with a down stance, my follow-up is going to be on them. With Varangian, you can choose your target, and no matter who you block, you're always going to be able to hit whoever you blocked. And you can also, if someone tries to peel you, you can just attack the external as well, as we see in the video.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because you can choose your target, we put a lot of effort into a new tech where she will detect where the hit is coming from. And
That's a
as
bit
you
of a
see in
new
the video
change.
right now,
I like
she'll
that.
just play an animation accordingly while still looking at her target.
Well, there's a lot of animation in this system.
Yeah.
Because we had to really plan ahead on like every direction from the player that you're locked on and you're fighting, but if it's coming there, but if somebody's coming on the other way, so from there going on the other side, the shield's pretty big, don't forget that. So,
We got
so
swing
how
it
do
around.
we do it? How do we turn all of that? It looks simple, but it's pretty complex, and it really gives the defensive like feeling of this character
Yeah.
that she can protect you if you fight with her on your team. It feels good.
It gives you
feels
that
good.
cool, like, you know, cool girls don't look like explosions type of feel, you know? It's
Exactly.
super awesome, but I find, like, even what Alex was talking about, like, the tactical aspect here of I can block multiple people, and what's super cool is that if you manage to block 4 people, right, you have the time to choose who you're going to pick and who you're going to do your follow-up against. And that's kind of part of the tech that we've built for this hero where if I block a single person, I have my follow-up against that single person. It's good. If I block 2, I have time to choose which one of the 2. If I block 4, you have time for all 4. And as soon as you throw an attack, everybody that you did bind with your block kind of gets out of it. So there's no real situations where you're going to get punished by somebody that you blocked by because you did something else. And it's really all about like making those choices, making sure that you have that control in your hands and have like perfecting the skill, the situational awareness, knowing what's going on around you. It's amazing for this. And again, like the animation team did a wonderful
Yes.
job. Alex did a wonderful job there as well. Making sure that we keep that feeling of I'm blocking in direction. We don't have like, you know, spinning around like we have with other heroes when they blocked. It looks really, really good there.
And
Like
it's important to mention that the GPP team as well like worked a lot on
At-
this.
at
So
the
yeah,
programmers,
it was
There was
really
a
like
lot
a
of
group
work.
effort to make it work.
Yeah, this
And
was
behave
not
the
a
way
this was
want.
not a simple topic
No.
to tackle
Yeah,
for
not
the
at
team,
all. No,
but
But you guys pulled it off amazing, so it's
Yeah.
super great.
Looks great.
really cool.
All right, so
yeah,
we want to talk about Feats a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're at the feats now.
Yeah, we have a little video,
so,
right?
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna run the video. So the first feat is called Take Shelter. So this is part of her support kit. Whenever you land a superior block, you can see the little sphere going to the Valkyrie and it heals her, but it doesn't heal Varangian. The Varangian guy.
Oh.
So that means that you're basically just going to be standing there in team fights, healing all of your allies. You're keeping them healthy. Of course, it's quite a potent heal, so you're not healing yourself. That's kind of the...
Yeah, and there's no cooldown on it, and it triggers off of every super block, so your full block and as well your crushing counters when you're using your lights.
Exactly.
So it triggers off of all that, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, for the feat 2, because your feat 1 is not keeping you alive, we have Mystia Ward, which is whenever you superior block an attack, you will gain a big defense buff for a short duration. That's kind of like the Lawbringer feat 3.
Yeah, it's kind of like Righteous Deflection, right? But, but it's on superior block instead of being on pack.
Exactly. Just to make sure that whenever you're in those big team fights that you don't go down too fast. And now, to go back into the support, here's the Aesir Aura. So that one is every single time you land an unblockable heavy, you will pulse a AoE that will give a little attack buff to you and your friends. So that really allows you get that Aesir bind with the heavy, and then you and your friend can kind of take advantage of it with the damage buff.
So all of this kind of plays into the support and the defensive and tactical aspects that we talked about. That is really great there.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got Feat 4.
Yep, and then Feat 4, reclaim the land. So going back to fight the uncle.
Hey, it's the
So
Highlanders
as you
4th
see,
feat.
it seems like it's a projectile from the sky. So
But it looks like
kinda
they dropped
a
the
spear
banner
storm.
with it
Acts
too.
kind of like a catapult, so you cannot do it indoor. So there's going to be a bunch of spears that fall into your enemy for damage, and then it's going to leave a Doom Banner, which is, if people are familiar, it's the Berserker Feat 2, so it plants a banner, and then every enemy inside of it is going to have lesser defense. And
Yeah, debuffs defense. So it's
Yeah.
really great for like point control.
There's a
so
bit of a
stuff
change
you get
right
in,
there.
you throw that, there's a bunch of people in there. Even if they dodge out, well then.
Now some people are
you
going to
go
be
into that
saying,
banner
"Oh,
and
it's the same
try
thing
to
as a
get-
Highlander,"
So it
but
feels again,
it doesn't
feeds
have a
into all those
banner.
aspects.
Yeah.
It's
The
Exactly.
Highlanders one doesn't have a banner.
like
This one
we're
does.
going there, there's a banner.
Bit of a change.
Attack everyone, get the buff, heal everyone,
Yeah.
embed your axe in people.
There you go. Works really good.
Easy.
Super easy.
Right.
Great. Yeah, so definitely a lot of really cool like defensive options, tactical, like you were talking about here. Just such a huge support character, which is really fun. Like I like that a lot personally, so I can't wait to play her next week as well. Do you have some other things you want to show off though too? Right?
Yeah.
I think we have the
We have a video
emote
for
and the
emotes.
Yeah,
execution
Oh, yeah.
and
Let's go
emotes.
As
see.
well, yeah. Max,
So
can
let's
you
jump
do that?
into the emotes.
Yes.
So we got the combat emotes here.
There you go.
Uh,
So we have all the emotes for her representing herself. Like she rally people around her, like the Doom Banner, exactly. Like it's a bit that, like the banner that comes in, you want to be with her when you fight. Yeah, some also like fun emote because
Super cool ones,
Some
yeah.
other fun ones. Yeah.
I mean we have So
You want to recreate the trailer? You get all the emotes to recreate the trailer. That's super
yeah. No, exactly. It really showed the personality of the character itself, and of course, player customization. It's really fun to be the one that call out to your allies. So
cool. It's a huge aspect of For Honor.
yeah,
it's
it is.
amazing.
It is. Yeah, sometimes things don't work as
Yeah.
intended. So
All right, so we're gonna have executions that'll be coming up
Yes.
shortly. as
But
well.
she's got to
This-
finish
yeah.
stretching.
Yeah,
though.
she's
This is
gotta
super
finish
I
stretching.
important.
really like this,
Yeah.
this emote.
It
It's
looks
like
amazing.
I mean,
you press
those
it, like,
weapons are heavy, so sometimes you just have to
It also
Take it out a
reminds
bit
you,
of it.
like when you game, you gotta stretch sometime. Take a
Yes.
little
yeah,
bit of
yeah,
water.
Worked pretty well. Okay, cool. So we've got those, and we have executions. as well.
yes,
You
the
show off a little bit?
execution.
Yeah.
They-
That's
Oh,
it.
let's see it.
So good.
Executions.
So
So you really feel the heaviness of this fighter in
Oh,
those executions.
why in
I
the
love like how we
face.
kind of handled the shield with
Yes.
kind of punching with the shield as
She
well.
really used it more like as
Ouch.
a defensive tool, yes, but
Backbreaker.
also as
It's pointy, you know.
Yeah,
Ouch.
I mean, it has a dual like she can use it as to protect, but also to attack.
Yeah.
Which she
Jesus.
does.
And this is
Lord
where also
have
like
mercy.
the violent Viking part of it
Yes.
comes into play, right? It's
exactly what Stefan was saying in the beginning.
like exactly right. So she's
God
more
damn.
controlled and stuff. But when you look at these executions,
Brutal as
you
hell,
see her
dude.
Viking
Awesome.
side really come out. And it's
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm not gonna,
She's violent, but not.
Good executions for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very controlled violence.
It's kind of
You
like the
don't wanna have
fatalities
this
from Mortal
accident.
Kombat.
Exactly.
That's for
I
sure.
think everybody does. No, it looks very painful. Well, yeah, those look amazing. Really cool. Great work on the animation team. Again, putting all that together. Just super bloody and violent and horrifying to think about. So great stuff, as always. So, Alex, so, I mean, we've talked a lot. We've showed off a lot here. But if you were to say, just maybe for new players here coming in, like wanting to start playing the Varangian Guard, what would be like maybe the closest character facsimile in the game right now, just so they can get used to it.
It feels kind of a mix in between, I would say, like Warlord, surprisingly, and Aramusha, in the sense that the down stance is temporary, like Aramusha, and you can do it after your recoveries. So you kind of get like kind of all of the heaviness of the Warlord, and those recovery cancel of Aramusha. Yeah.
There's a bit of Black Prayer in there as well. Like
Oh, yeah,
you
for
also
sure.
do stuff from external trajectories. That's really good there as well.
Yeah. Like if a new player picks it up, it's Like, just get into your chain, try to learn how to use those recovery cancels in group fights, and it should be good.
Nice.
It's great because the hero's not like it's simple to play, like it's easy to pick up, but it's really hard to master every little detail with it. That's really, really good.
Exactly. Your positioning, what attack to use when to defend.
Super great.
Just like
So with
every
all of that
hero.
too, like how do you, JC? How do you
Every
feel
hero
like this
is
is going to
hard to
impact like
master.
the overall meta? You know, the big,
Team
the
competition, right? So,
competitive, all that.
So one of the big things that we were keeping in mind while designing this hero is, as the game has been moving more towards big group fights, big wide trajectories, the meta has been super, super impacted by this. Why we've seen the rise of Magi, rise of like heroes like Jan Jung and stuff that have those big hits, those big hit boxes around them. So this hero was built to be a counter to this, right? So it's, if there is a Varangian guard on the opposing team, you have to be careful where you're going to be throwing your attacks, how you're going to be doing your stuff. Yes, it's not a super hard counter, but it still works really quite well there. So we're really expecting to be able to see her more into those compositions where you need to defeat opposing teams that are really using those group fight tools that we've been building all over this like this past year and a half. So it's really built around this. We had this in mind while we were building this hero, as well as when we were like buffing up group fights. So this is how I really, really feel like it's going to go, both in regular gameplay and in competitive. Right? Because in regular, it's going to happen once in a while. You can be able to block one of those trajectories. But at competitive level, I've seen the players that we're going to be seeing playing later use her very, very, very effectively, use all those superior blocks, use that full block, all of these things really well. So I can really see her getting picked in a lot of situations and be very, very effective.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think you've described the meta, and I know during the development, as like this is a character where like she wants to be supporting her group, her team. So you, as an opponent, you want to kill her, but it's really hard to kill her because she's constantly supporting her team. So like,
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
it's like
So, yeah, that's a big part of it where you want to like make sure that she's there, she's a threat, and it's one of the first few times where you're like, well, I have to kill this hero first, and we built with that in mind, right? With all those defensive tools that make her harder to kill. So it's all those little aspects that kind of blend together that make for something super interesting. And the other thing that we were hoping to have is, if you're playing this game and you have a friend that's starting or whatever, you can play with them and stick close to them and actually actively help them in group fights and protect them and defend them. And it fits really, really well with the hero's thematic, but also with what we're kind of gameplay elements and where we're trying to push the game.
awesome, super cool. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing all of that, and Vanessa too for being on the couch.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I mean, thanks to the animation team, Ricardo, Nawel, and Michel. I mean, all their great work on this hero. Honestly, I'm really excited for the player to
Fred
play
on the
with her a little
VFX,
bit.
at the
I mean,
Like honestly, like
animation are
every
amazing.
department that we
people
have,
working
like
on
so
it.
from
Yes.
animation, from the fight team, like the entirety of the fight team always participates in the development of every single hero. We all work hard together to push this as far as we can. But then we have the programming side of it that they did a
they
ton
have
of work.
quite a lot on this one.
VFX department had a lot of work on their plate as well. So it's a big collaborative effort. Like massive shout outs to everybody on these teams. We've all worked super hard, and like we have everything to be proud of. It's really, really good.
Amazing, too. Cool, thank you. We hope you're as excited as we are, and if you want to see the next stage of all this, well, what better chance than what's coming up next? We have exhibition matches with some very special players who joined us in the studio live, who are going to be doing some hands-on real scrimmage matches using the Varangian Guard. So you don't want to miss that, so stick around because we'll be right back. Thank you, guys.